Well, the Fulton County Board of Ethics was set to hear two new complaints against Fulton County District Attorney Fani Willis, alleging numerous ethics violations. However, days before the board convened, the meeting agenda was updated to remove consideration of those complaints, stating that the board does not have jurisdiction. The first complaint claims the district attorney's office improperly denied a records request for expense reports for the years 2021 through 2023 and all contracts and payments made to Nathan Wade during those same years. The second complaint raises questions about the hiring of Wade, his compensation, and whether taxpayer dollars paid to Wade might have been spent better elsewhere. A state judge in Georgia is currently weighing evidence against Willis's alleged impropriety and whether she and her team should be disqualified from the case. At the same time, state lawmakers have formed a special Senate committee with subpoena power to investigate claims against the district attorney. Join me now, senior fellow at the Heritage Foundation, Hans von Spakovsky. Hans, good to see you.
Good to see you too, Steve.
I mean, I don't know if it's going to make a lot of difference. Most of us, I think here, even Democrats across the country, have watched this train wreck in slow motion of Fani Willis and Nathan Wade and concluded, look, anybody who's going to be honest knows she should not be on the case. He should not be on the case. This never should have happened. Whether or not she's going to be disbarred is another question. But this additional ethics complaint, although probably valid, maybe not necessary.
Well, yeah, look, the court has jurisdiction over whether she should be recused from the case. But the county ethics board has authority over county officials who violate ethics rules. And I don't understand why they are saying they don't have jurisdiction when there are claims that in the disclosure forms that she's required to file with the county, she didn't say anything about the many gifts she was receiving from her contractor, who was she was also having an adulterous relationship with. Plus, look, there are ethics issues over her use of county funds, which have to be approved by the county commission, to hire that vendor, the special counsel, without getting permission from the county commission. So those are all ethics issues that are certainly within their jurisdiction.
Maybe they didn't want jurisdiction, Hans. Did you think of that? Maybe they're just like, well,
yeah,
I mean, what do you make? I mean, what other explanation is there? Well, we don't have jurisdiction. We can't touch this one. Come on.
Well, in fact, I don't see any other grounds for them to say we don't have jurisdiction over this other than it's a political hot potato and they apparently don't want to deal with it, which, having lived and worked in Fulton County, is no surprise to me.
Well, look. In this particular case, I don't know how, again, you can't look the other way. The testimony in this case was riveting for all of us. We sat there watching going, I can't believe they said that. I can't believe I heard that. I mean, our jaws were dropping. And if it comes back any other way, other than removing him and her from this case and starting over, if they decide that they want to start over on it, anything less than that would just be a naked abuse of power, wouldn't it?
Yeah, I think it would be. And in fact, it would be a complete violation of the state ethics rules that govern the judiciary and lawyers. But look, the Democratic Party in Georgia is known for its tactics. And you may have seen, Steve, that they've already gotten a local so-called civil rights lawyer to qualify to run against the judge overseeing this case. And I think it'd be very interesting to see whether or not Fani Willis or others had anything to do with trying to recruit someone to run against this judge.
Well, didn't this judge work for her previously?
Yeah, I believe so. And I think he also gave a contribution to her campaign. But the fact that they've gotten somebody qualified to run against him, I think, is their sign to him that if he doesn't rule the right way, they're going to put up serious opposition to him.
Yeah. I want to shift gears just for one moment here, Hans, to something different.
Sure.
I'm not throwing you a curveball here, but I want you to weigh in on the $7.3 trillion budget that just dropped, right? And because it comes down to freedom and liberty, 50,000-person Green New Deal youth patrol. What, the little hoodlums are going to be pounding on my door telling me not to use my air conditioning or my clothes washer? What are the little hoodlums going to do? And they're the green jackbooted thugs. I mean, well, what is this?
Well, it sounds like they want to set up the kind of neighborhood committees like, remember, East Germany had to report on anyone who's disputing anything that regime put out. And here, what, they're going to have a whole corps of people to report on you if you're like barbecuing outside and doing things like that?
Hans, there will be no campfires. What kind of crazy? There'll be no s'mores. Step away from the marshmallows. I mean, honestly, they're putting together little, anti-capitalism, anti-American robots, 50,000 of them, to go around billions of dollars. I mean, obviously, you've heard of this. This is not America, is it?
No, it's not. And this is just one of the many things that they are doing to abuse their power and change America completely the way Barack Obama said they were going to. And the Biden administration has accelerated that move to change us into a country we will no longer recognize.
Well, who's running the country today, Hans? Is it Joe Biden or is it Barack Obama? I say that because there's a total of $4.9 trillion in tax hikes. There's tens of billions of dollars to build housing for illegals here. And the list goes on and on and on. I'll give you the last word. Who's running the country?
Crazy left-wing radicals who hate America.
And how do we stop it? That's really, I come back to that. The time is late to me, Hans, because a few years ago I thought, well, nobody would ever vote for this Green New Deal nonsense. It's insane. And yet every day my dishwasher's attacked, my air conditioner is attacked, my car is attacked, my patriotism is attacked, right? Everything. So at what point is it too late? I'll give you the last word. Sorry.
Well, what has to happen is you have to get someone in the White House who is willing to radically cut the federal budget, particularly radically cut the size of all of the big federal executive departments, the ones who are trying to interfere in our lives.
Yeah. We need Javier Milei just to come on vacation up here and go, nope, none of that.
Right.
Get rid of that, and we'd be done with it anyhow. Hans, always a good conversation, my friend. Thank you.
Thanks for having me.
All right, after the break. Attorney General Letitia James of New York booed by a room full of firefighters. We'll watch them when we come back. Oh, by the way, they're being sought out to be punished now. The story coming up on ABL.